It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Atlanta Gladiators Director of Broadcast and Communications, Liam Gotimer. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, Brandon. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to work in professional sports and broadcasting?
Well, I mean, I've been a sports fan all my life. I grew up a huge basketball fan, fell in love with hockey shortly thereafter. And as a kid, I just always thought, what better job is there than to be at every single game and be able to be the voice behind the action. So, that's definitely how I got into it.
What was your experience like getting to go to a SUNY school to learn about mass communications?
Yeah, no, I mean, going to SUNY Oswego was one of the best decisions of my life, to be honest. Just an absolutely beautiful campus, still in New York, but got to get away from Long Island a little bit, 6 hours away to be exact. They had a terrific hockey program, D3 school, and, they really gave students the opportunity to get involved, whether that's on the radio side or the TV side. It's funny, Brandon, I actually went into Oswego as a history major. I wanted to be a history teacher. And on the first day, I had an opportunity to change my major. And I overheard somebody having a conversation in the line, and they said, well, you can broadcast games. And I said, wait a second. I can put on the headset and I can go into that hockey arena and I can broadcast my favorite sport. In that moment, I immediately changed to mass communications. And like I said, one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Of course, what was that feeling like, getting to switch majors and getting to be able to broadcast games like the ice hockey?
Well, I got to be honest, it was a little bit nerve-wracking, because, I went into my freshman year with this mindset of I wanted to be a history teacher. I just wanted to teach, and I loved the subject of history. And again, that kind of got switched up on me. And again, broadcasting is a very niche career, right? Like not very many people are able to, sustain a career, doing play-by-play or doing broadcasting and communication type work. So it was a risk. So I was definitely a little bit nervous that, it wouldn't pan out. But no, I'm really blessed for sure.
What was that experience like, first getting started in radio broadcasting and working for a radio station?
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't get involved with the radio station at Oswego in my freshman year. WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network. I got involved in my sophomore year. I was broadcasting for the women's ice hockey team, and I loved the team. I mean, they were absolutely terrific. I started out as an analyst doing intermission work. And again, I just got more and more opportunities through the stations, whether that was, covering live events or having my own radio show.
Of course, how was your experience like getting to work with the 90.3 radio station?
So that was actually at Nassau Community College. So in my sophomore year, I don't mind sharing because it's actually a very inspiring, I think, story. And I went home. And I went to Nassau Community College, and I needed to get myself back on my feet. And I joined 90.3 WHPC, and I was able to do a little bit of work there, and it really helped me get back on my feet.
Of course, what was that experience like, getting that experience to do the radio station for 90.3?
Again, like it came at a time in my life where I really didn't have a lot of opportunity, and like you say the word rock bottom, right? Like that was probably my rock bottom. And I walked into that radio station and I said, I just want an opportunity. And I was writing scripts. I was doing sport reads. And that was really one of the first times, of course, outside of my small tenure at WNYO, the first time I was at Oswego, that I really had a chance to elevate myself as a broadcast and media professional.
Of course, how did that help you to get that job at WNYO?
Yeah, so my time at Nassau Community College helped me get back into SUNY Oswego for my junior year. Got a couple of 4.0 semesters, worked myself back. And the second I got back to Oswego, Brandon, I wanted to go get back with the radio station. And I reached out immediately, and they welcomed me in with open arms. I became their podcasting director in that first year. And it's a crazy experience and really, really interesting to look back on. Definitely.
Of course, what was that like getting to work with those different podcasts in the New York SUNY area?
Yeah, no, being the podcasting director for the school, I mean, again, there were just so many talented students who had so many great ideas to bring to the table. And just to see the motivation and the creativity behind an idea that they wanted to create into a podcast and to be able to help them with pre-production, production, and post-production techniques. I mean, it really made me feel good that I was, able to help somebody else discover a passion that I discovered years earlier. And yeah.
What were some of the things that you took from your time working in the radio to then help you to get the Savannah Ghost Pirates job?
Yeah, well, at the radio station, like I said, I had a lot of responsibilities, right? I was the podcasting director, and it was really a podcasting department that was really kind of new. And the podcasting director before me did an outstanding job, and he really set me up for a lot of success. But I was just able to build off that. And again, the responsibilities were raised. I became assistant sports director simultaneously while being podcasting director. And then that's when I got my play-by-play chance with the men's hockey team. So I would say it absolutely helped me, further down the line with the Savannah Ghost Pirates internship.
How was that experience like getting to work in the media relations as an assistant for the Savannah Ghost Pirates?
I mean, again, it's just a dream, right? I mean, even though it was an internship role and it was unpaid and, sometimes it was difficult work. I mean, the second I got offered the opportunity to become a broadcasting intern, the first thing that was running through my mind was, this is a league affiliated with the NHL, and my dream is to work in the NHL. This is a brand new team. So there was so much potential for what the Ghost Pirates could become. And I really underestimated how, the impact they would have. The Ghost Pirates are taking the world by storm. They are one of the best fan experiences you can see anywhere in the United States, just hockey wise. So just to be able to be a part of that and look back at their success now, it's special. It's special.
How was that experience like being a part of the first for the Savannah Ghost Pirates?
Yeah. Again, it's just a dream come true, right? I mean, the second I got there, it was August and the end of August, beginning of September, and we were getting ramped up for the start of the season. I got to walk into a beautiful, brand new end market arena. I got to see all this new equipment, all this new areas that the players were going to be able to take advantage of. And, I met the coaching staff, I met the front office staff, and yeah, it was a really special group that came together to create what Savannah had this past year.
What was that transition like from working in Savannah, Georgia to going to Atlanta Gladiators?
It was scary. I mean, like I said, I stuck my foot out there and I said I would like this job, but I was relatively young, right? 24 years old. And, I'd never had a director of broadcasting job, in my life. I was coming off of an internship with the Ghost Pirates that I think definitely helped prepare me. But I was a little bit nervous. And I think everybody, embarking on new challenges are going to be nervous. But I really went into it with an open mind. And I've been here since February, and my experience has just completely just changed what I thought my potential was as a person and a media professional.
Of course, what was that time like going from being an intern to then jumping directly into being a director of broadcast versus being an assistant in broadcasting?
It's a lot. It's very different, right? I had so much more responsibility, and I think I go back to WNYO before I became podcasting director. I didn't have a lot of responsibility, but then I became podcasting director, and it was all thrown on me. And was it a wave at times, and was it a little bit crazy to handle? Sure, it was, but it made me better off in the long run. And exactly what happened at the radio station in Oswego is happening here. I'm getting immersed in so many areas, that has just made me better. And I'm embracing every single challenge. And I think that's the mentality you want to have. A, you want to stay in the sports world, and B, if you want to advance in it.
Of course, what are some of your roles as the communications director for Atlanta Gladiators?
Yeah, so I just handle all the communications, obviously, in and out of the team. So such as press releases. We announced our protected list today. We had a huge press conference this past week where we named the Nashville Predators and Milwaukee Admirals affiliation partners, and Gladiators legend Derek Nesbitt became the sixth head coach in Gladiators history. Of course, I work heavily on the broadcasting side. I assist in marketing and social media creation. I'm the play-by-play voice for all 72 Gladiators games, and I help to sell corporate sponsorships in the summer as well. So really have a lot of things under my hat, but that's the way I want it.
Of course, what is that typical game day like as the play-by-play for the Atlanta Gladiators?
Yeah, well, that's what I do this for. That's my dream. My dream is to become a play-by-play broadcaster at the next level. Maybe one day at the NHL if some crazy, wild dream is able to come true. But right now, I mean, to be able to have less than 10 games of play-by-play experience, right, coming out of college, and to be able to do it on a consistent basis, even if it was from the latter end of the year until the end of the regular season from February 5th on, every single chance I got to do it, I was just in the zone. And it definitely takes a lot of preparation, and it definitely takes a lot of multitasking, and it takes a lot of time out of your day, but I would not trade this job and specifically play-by-play for anything in the world, anything.
Well, of course, what are some of your popular catchphrases that you use throughout the game?
I haven't really been able to form too many catchphrases. I think I had an "Oh baby" in there for one of the goals, like that one. That's homage to John Davidson, who was color commentator for the New York Rangers back in the day. Yeah, no, I mean, nothing yet, but it's definitely something I'm cooking up during the off season. I'll bring it out game one against the Ghost Pirates. So,
Of course, what is that like being the media relations and getting to work heavily with the media and the team?
oh, again, I mean, it's amazing. We had our press conference this past Tuesday, and we had tons of media coverage there. I think we had 3 television stations, 4 print media stations, and radio stations there as well. We had 2. So, again, just a lot of coverage of the team. And that's my goal, right? As the media relations and communications director, my goal is to get the Gladiators name out there and for people to understand just how awesome Gladiators hockey is. And I think slowly but surely we're able to do that, and we're able to build on that. And I can't wait to see what comes of the Gladiators and their on ice and off ice success this season and onward.
Being a media assistant, what is that like getting to work heavily with the social media and the graphics team?
Oh, again, that's just a lot of fun too, right? I get to help out where I can, but the people who run our social media and our graphics are just so incredibly talented. And if you see some of the stuff that we've put out, especially with our new exciting affiliation announcement, definitely speaks for itself. Just what kind of quality level we're able to put out there on the social media end of things.
Of course, what is that experience like getting to work with those affiliates like the Nashville Predators?
Well, I mean, again, just getting ever closer to the NHL, right? And we were affiliated with the Arizona Coyotes and the Tucson Roadrunners this past season. That was a lot of fun. We got to see a lot of talented players, but now specifically being affiliated with Nashville on the NHL side of things, they're the closest NHL team to Gwinnett. So now Predators fans will become Gladiators fans, and Gladiators fans will become Predators fans. And that's what the game of hockey is all about, growing our never-ending love for the sport.
What does the day in the life look like as a media relations on the minor league level?
Well, it could just be so many different things, right? You never know what's going to get thrown at you. Today specifically, I worked on the Atlanta Gladiators podcast, which will be dropping early next week, with an interview between myself and the sixth head coach in Gladiators history, Derek Nesbitt. Other days it can be marketing. The other days it can be, writing articles for the website and just, working with the league on certain protected lists and stuff like that. So it can really be anything and everything. And that's what I love about the job, right? I wake up every single day. I come into the office and I don't know what's going to come onto my plate, but whatever it is, I know it's going to be exciting and I know I want to knock it out of the park.
Of course, what is that experience like getting to travel with the team to cover them as a broadcaster and working in communications?
So I wasn't able to travel with the team this past season. I traveled for one game against the Savannah Ghost Pirates. And the one game I was able to travel for, I mean, of course, I had worked in End Market Arena. I had worked for the Ghost Pirates as an intern. And then to be able to come back as a director of broadcasting and call a game in that booth for real, I mean, one of the most special things I've ever gotten the chance to do. And that was only one game. And this upcoming year, I hope I'm able to travel for all 36.
Of course, what are some of your pre-game rituals that you do to prepare for broadcasting?
So I have a very interesting pregame ritual. I tell myself I will never, ever not know a player's name. So I will write down the starting lineups for each team over and over and over and over until my hand cramps up. So by the time the game starts, if number 5 passes to number 77, I know it just like that. I will never get it mixed up. So that's kind of my big pregame ritual. And I always take a moment, just away from the broadcast booth, stand by myself, and I just thank God for how grateful I am to be doing the job I'm doing. I never lose sight of that, and I don't think any broadcaster in this league or in the AHL or in the NHL loses sight of that. I mean, it is a privilege to do what we do.
Of course, being a sports broadcaster for a major league sports team, what is that atmosphere like, getting to sit that close to the action?
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, specifically in Atlanta, it's a little bit of a bird's eye view. So I'm all the way up high, but I like that personally. Savannah is a little bit of a bird's eye view too. I haven't called a game in any other arena. Again, hopefully I'll be able to do that at the start of this upcoming season, but calling games from Atlanta is very, very cool. And I get to see all the action. I don't miss a moment of it.
What is that process like, getting to work with the media to get interviews with, let's say, the GM, the head coach, or even a player?
Yep. So I have access to everybody within the organization. So if the media has an inquiry, and as long as it's a sensible one, right, I'm happy to set up anything that they need, as long as it gets the Gladiators name out there. And I want it to be mutually beneficial, right? Not just for the Glads, but for their outlet as well. And that's when I think us two are at our best, when we're working in conjunction with one another.
What are some of your favorite memories and moments getting to work as a director of broadcast and communications?
My first game is definitely up there. I think Gabe Gertler for the Glads tied the game at a 4-4 score with about 3 minutes, maybe a little bit under 3 minutes to go in the game. And if you go back and listen to that call, it's on the Gladiators Twitter, it's on the YouTube for the highlights of that game, February 5th, if you want to check it out. I went absolutely nuts. And, was it a little loud? Was I a little bit too excited? Sure. But I think that was a combination of seeing the Gladiators tie the game and getting to do that for the first time at the professional level. So that's one for me. And the second one has to be our last home game of the season, when Cody Sylvester got the first hat trick of the Gladiators season, and Tyler Harmon on the same day shut out the Florida Everblades, who are well on their way to back-to-back Kelly Cup championships. So those two stand out to me.
Of course, what are some of the things that you learn now that you didn't know before working in director of broadcasting communications?
I mean, there were so many things, right? There were so many unknowns. Of course, I was interning in Savannah, and I worked under Cristiano Simonetta, who is one of the best media professionals I have ever met. He is an outstanding play-by-play broadcaster, and he tried to get me immersed in every single part of the job, but there's really no way you can do that, because the responsibilities for a director of broadcasting, they're really endless. And, you don't get to experience them, and you don't get to understand exactly, specifically what you have to do and what your tasks are until they come along. So that's what's really exciting for me. It's a different thing every day, and you got to attack it rather than try to stay away from it. So,
of course, for my listeners that are listening, what are some of the things that you need to do to become a person in communications and working for a professional sports team?
Don't give up on the dream. If you're going for, a play-by-play job, a director of broadcasting job, communications, PR, You're obviously meant to do it. And if it's your passion, go for it. Trust me, I got this job with under 10 games of play-by-play experience. You know why I was able to get this job? Because I worked hard and I believe in myself. I know it sounds cliche, but that's it. Believe in yourself and believe in what you can do, and you'll get there. And don't look down on internships and jobs like that. Get your foot in the door. Even if you're working for free, if you have the resources to be able to make that happen, and you just have the chance, the small chance to show somebody within a professional sports organization that you can do this at a higher level, that's it right there. That's why I got this job.
Of course, what are some of your future plans in Director of Broadcast and Communications?
I can't wait to remain committed to the Gladiators for years to come. I mean, we've just scratched the surface with the potential of the Atlanta Gladiators and just the potential of hockey just in this market. And I'm just so excited to be at the head of that. And I can't wait to keep getting out there, keep getting the Gladiators name out there. And yeah.
What advice would you give those people that are looking to work in sports communications?
Yeah, pretty much what I said before, internships, just get yourself involved, podcasting. Like there was a time like when I came home from SUNY Oswego and I started a podcast on my cell phone and I just called the penalty box. It's still on Spotify. Did it with my buddy. And we got interviews and, was anybody listening to that? Well, maybe 5-10 people, but what was really important for that? What was really important was that I was getting better every single time. And that when the chance came along to become an intern or to become a podcasting director or even a communications director, I was ready.
Of course, what advice would you give those people that are looking to work in communications for a professional sports team?
Again, just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and don't be afraid to start at the bottom. Don't be afraid to start at the bottom and work your way up. Sports is one of the industries, right? That, you can't expect anything to be handed to you. If you want to get to where you want to go, you got to work hard and you got to outwork the person next to you. And sometimes that's really hard. Because there are a lot of people in this world that would love to be involved in a communications side of a sports team. So that's why you always got to stay on your toes. That's why you always got to continue to get better. And that's why you got to be eager to embrace new challenges.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the Atlanta Gladiators app?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Gotimer_Liam. And you can find the Gladiators at ATL Gladiators on Twitter.
Thank you again, Liam Gladiatore, for your interview and best of luck in the future with the Atlanta Gladiators as the Director of Broadcast and Communications.
Thank you.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Liam Gladiator, for your interview and best of luck in the future.
Appreciate it.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.